The roar of the crowd can only mean one thing really. Race day has arrived here in Abu Dhabi and it's time to join our teams who are getting ready down on the grid. The Yas Marina circuit is made up of 3.28 miles of track, featuring 16 corners with 2 very long straights. DRS zones going into the heavy braking zones of both turn 5 and turn 7 offer plenty of potential for overtaking. The circuit comes with its fair share of tricky corners, which will certainly test a driver's braking management.
Okay, so here we go, the championship deciding race here at Evolution Online Racing Division 1. Robbie starting on pole. Noel starts alongside him there in second. Those are the 2 top contenders right now for the championship, and they're starting just alongside each other on the front row. Can't ask for a better start than this one. Rian, they're starting 3rd on the grid. General starting 4th. Optic will start 5th. Lima starts 6th. No Cap starting 7th. Zitik will start 8th. Liam in 9th. We got Swen starting in 10th. Mitri starts 11th. Phoenix starts 12th. We got Immortal starting 13th on the grid here. Final race to decide it all. I'm not going to head straight into that race session right now. Let's see. Alright, here we go, the start of this race. Let's see who gets a better start off the line. Looks like the Ferrari is off pretty well, out into the distance already, ahead of Noel here, who has not a pretty good start. He had contact with someone down from behind, and it's quite a chaotic start as you can see here. Not sure this is going to lead to a restart of this race, but definitely very chaotic down, especially in the midfield. There are a lot of contact between cars, and Noel got the worst of it, starting second, now all the way down to 9th on the grid. Not thinking that was the best start for him. Already under a safety car here, I believe we are right now. I think it's going to be a full safety car, of course, with all that damage and all that carbon fiber on the track here. It's not looking good for the championship right now for Noel. If he plans to take it on this race, it's going to be a heck of a race for him. Rianti's up to 2nd, General up to 3rd. Let's see what's going to happen in terms of a restart here. If it's going to happen, I'm not sure. The guys are going to decide on that. Just depending on what happened on that opening lap there. I think there definitely is going to be some discussions about that there right now. Always a bit controversy on a race like this one, so yeah, we're definitely looking at an interesting session here overall. And we can see everyone starting on the hard tires, of course. Only no cap on the mediums there, so we'll see how this works out for the grid and what's gonna happen here. At the moment, Robbie of course got away pretty well off the line, and yep, he is continuing to lead this race. Brian got a pretty good start up to 2nd, General into 3rd, Lima 4th, now Swen up to 5th, Zatik running 6th, now Immortal 7th, Optic 8th, Noel in 9th now, started 2nd, Mitri down to 10th, Finnick there running 11th, Liam 12th, No Cap 13. Let's see what the change-up is going to be in this case here when we do get back restarted with the race session, of course. Let's keep it on the overhead cam at the moment. As you can see, the lights are on the track already on, getting sorted through for an extremely interesting night race here. So yes guys, still on lap 2 now, we are after a quite a chaotic start actually. Someone I think touched Noah's car down at the back, then I think a bunch of contact happened, so I'm not sure, we weren't on the overhead cam, so we're not entirely sure who actually started with contact there, who made first contact, so whose fault it was, I'm not sure as yet. That of course will be decided by the race stewards at the end of the race session. I think as it is, we are going to continue on with the session so far. If things continue this way though, Robbie gets quite an easy way to win the championship here this evening. With Noel down to 8 at the moment. Let's see how this works out. But definitely quite an interesting start. Quite sure the stewards are going to have to get involved a lot in this race just to see how it plays out. Red Bulls are up pretty well though. Second and fourth for them. Looks like we did have a few pit stops down at the back of the grid there. Got 2 cars onto mediums, 2 cars onto the soft, so going to be an interesting race to see how the strategy works out for them. The rest of the grid has stayed on the hards. Of course, Mitri retiring from the session. I think he might have retired in the pit lane. I see No Cap is now out of the session and got a penalty just as he was leaving there as well. So 2 drivers out. 3 now is out. Noel is out as well. I think there might have been a bit of confusion. I think Noel retired because he thought there was going to be a restart here, as No Caps and Mitri retired from the session, which I didn't think was the case. Mitri got side damage, is why he retired, so I'm not planning a restart in the session. Safety car, I believe, is going in there right about now. We're about to get back restarted here. So 3 drivers are already out and 1 of the championship contenders out of the race as well. This gives Robbie, of course, a clear win for the championship here. Let's have a look and see how the restart goes with our 10 current drivers that remain here at the moment. As they get back going here now, it's a 5-10 gap between Robbie and Riant at the moment, trying to see if that's will increase or decrease as they get into turn 1. So far so good, they're getting through pretty cleanly as far as we can tell here at the moment. Out in front getting a bit spaced up as Robbie tends to leave the pack behind. He's already almost a second ahead of the Red Bull there, as you can see him getting going. Stick tires up until we do that on here at the moment. So unfortunate for Noel here, he's retired from the session under a bit of a misunderstanding there. And he is of course out of the race here. Trying to see how this is working out to the rest of the grid right now. Riant under pressure from Jenna right now, and McLaren closing in on the Red Bull. Of course, he has Red Bull closing in behind of him as well, so could be interesting to see how things change up as we get down to the rest of this race here. Let's see what's going to happen either way. So far so good. Robbie continues to lead the race out in front as he is leading the championship right now at the moment. Riant running second, Jenna running third, Lima still running in fourth. It's a pretty close gap between most of our drivers as far as we can see here going on through. I'm trying to have a look at the rest of the grid as they get on through there as well. I see they're keeping the gap a bit consistent going on through the session so far. We're already in lap 4 of 29 here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And things are looking pretty good so far. Optic looking a bit racy down at the back here in the we got a spin from one of the Alpines there. But something definitely did happen. Robbie fastest lap. There goes the Ferrari on the inside of Sadiq onto turn 1. Looks like he gets that move run pretty well. Side by side of it still going. Ferrari stood on the inside of the next turn and gets it through. He's up ahead into 6th place. That's Sadiq down to 7 now. He's going to try, of course, to chase back the Ferrari if he can. Finnick running within a second behind them. Let's see if he's able to close the gap, though, and possibly get an overtake here. We got Sven just there in 5th, chasing after the Rebel of Lima. Let's see if he gets an overtake or not. Keep a pretty close gap as far as we can see there. But their slipstream advantage doesn't look like it's as strong as it is for him. Optic out of range here right about now. No DRS advantage, of course, to him. Going on to Sven at the moment. Let's have a look what's happening. Out in front, Rian seems to have caught up somehow to Robbie here. I'm not sure how he caught up this close to the Ferrari. Did Robbie make a mistake on track, which is not something we usually see happening here in Division 1. So it could be the case, or just the Red Bull have found some pace that he hasn't been finding for quite a while. So far it's going pretty well. And he's going to keep that gap as close as he can, getting through. It's about a 6-10 gap right about now. Let's see for how long he can keep that through. He's lost back a bit of time here right now. We're starting to lose more and more time as you get on through the lap. So we'll switch back down to Sven at the moment. There goes the DRS. It's back online now. I think officially online now since the race actually got started and had a safety car into the first lap. I think this is the first time we've had it on. Sven here, pretty close gap towards the Red Bull, looking on the inside. Can he get a move done here? He's right up to the rear of the Red Bull, tries for it, and looks like he got it up into P4. Not a bad move from the Alfa Romeo driver. He's still going side by side a bit with the Red Bull here, I believe. Lima not giving up, goes back to the race line, tries to get a bit of a slipstream advantage, is forced on the inside. And can he get a move done though? Is it what the question is going to be? He does get it done. Is it going to be a switchback? Nope, not enough room for a switchback here. So the Red Bull gets back into fourth, puts Sven back down into 5th place as the switching advantage helps him here. Probably a bit of ERS as well as he pulls through on the inside. The Alfa Romeo trying to get this position back again. Goes around, and I think, oh, we got a McLaren going wide. I think that was Optic, was it? Sorry, not Optic. I think that was Geno. That was Geno going wide. They still kept his position, but of course left himself exposed a bit now to the Alfa Romeo and Red Bull coming behind. See how that's going to work for him. It's a pretty close gap here. Optic closes in his gap towards the Red Bull of Lima right now. Down the main straight we go, and a bit of switching advantage doesn't hurt to put the Ferrari alongside the Red Bull on the inside. Almost a bit of wheel contact. Red Bull almost off track here as he tries to hold on to that position there. They go on through, and looks like the Ferrari is up into another position. He's up into 5th, Lima down to 6th. Optic, of course, now going to be chasing after the Alfa Romeo in front of him. So Sven, he has another car now to worry about instead of the Red Bull. Let's see how well he manages himself through with that. Gap still pretty close between the Ferrari and the Red Bull, so I want to see if Lima is able to get back his advantage here in terms of trying to get back and overtake. He is chasing after the Ferrari pretty closely. Has to be worried though, Satiq there coming so close out behind him. As we continue on here right now, quite an interesting overhead view we have. And there goes, I think, Liam getting past, was it? Yep, that was Liam getting past the Satiq there. He's up into 8th. Not a bad overtake move from him. And we got someone going quite wide out in front. Was that Sven? I think it was. It was Sven. He gets back on track though. Keeps the position for now at least. Have a look what's happening out in front with the McLaren right now. He's about 8/10 behind Riyadh right now. Riyadh losing a bit of time to Robbie out in front. He's trying to keep up with that Ferrari, but having such a difficult time with that right now, as far as we can see. It's just so much he can push at this point. Geno though in the McLaren here, still within DRS range of the Red Bull, so this is a bit interesting. I think Ryan trying to get back into DRS range of that Ferrari, having a very difficult time. It's like the straight land speed of the Red Bull though has helped, as yeah, a bit faster down the straight than the Ferrari, because he gained quite a bit of time there, at least 2 to 3 tenths, and is within DRS range now. Let's see if he can keep that car within DRS range as they continue to race on through. And then it's currently lap 8 of 29. He's trying to keep it around 8 tenths down to 7. He needs to keep that gap at least 5 tenths and below to line himself up for an overtake for the lead of this race if he wants to. Or this is going to be based on strategy. Let's see who's going to come into the pits first. Of course, it could all be coming down to us another safety car in this race as well, even with just 10 drivers remaining, following the bit of misunderstanding there with Noel retiring from the race, because he did think that there was going to be a restart to the session after no cap, and Mitri retired. We know Mitri retired because of some side damage to his car that came off the race start there. A bit of an incident on that start. Just a bit unfortunate for him as well. gap out in front is now down to 3/10. The Red Bull is after the Ferrari, and he's gaining and gaining time here. The Ferrari seems to be out of ERS as well, as we see the rear light was just blinking. I think he's got it back now though. Now he's still actually going at it, so let's see, can Riyadh have any sort of advantage here? I don't think he's close enough to have. He is still taking advantage, but the straight line speed of the Red Bull, we know it's quite a bit more. Swen retires from the race, or I think he's out of the session either way. Interesting braking techniques here. It's an 8-10 gap as they get off that turn there. The Red Bull trying to get onto the power as fast as he can here to see how it's gonna go. And hello to Paddy Pat there from the stream. Hello man, how you doing? It's been quite a while. I don't think I've ever had Paddy on one of my Twitch streams before. I think probably on YouTube, maybe not on Twitch. But good to have you on, man. How are you doing? Trying to see where this is going to go, because I think Ryan definitely, he doesn't want to let this gap go right now. That DRS advantage is crucial right now to him trying to get an overtake here, and he just lost it. A bit of mistake, a bit of fumble, and it's gone right now. The gap is already down to 1.5 seconds. The Ferrari going to take advantage of this. He goes wide. Does he have a problem with the car here? I'm not sure, because he went a bit off the track there as well. Came back on. Now under pressure from the McLaren behind. This is going to be so interesting to see how this plays out. Robbie still leads out in front. He's going to be taking the championship either way with what happens here, as long as he just wins this race. Or just finishes up the race at least. Or either way. We know Noel is already out of the session. So as standings go, Robbie there is going to be your driver's champion. So Geno up into second right now. Riyadh has lost that position. Did the Red Bull just lose space all of a sudden? You're sort of trying to figure out what happened. We know he's on the same strategy right now as the Ferrari and the McLaren, so it's a bit tricky to see what's happening here. The Red Bull, of course, was looking so racy going through the previous 3 laps, catching up to the Ferrari, which we know Robbie, of course, has some significant pace on that car. But the Red Bull had the straight line speed. He was gaining through the straights and the main straights as well. Got the time down to under a second. So close down to about 3/10 to try and line himself for an overtake. And one little fumble, I think, just cost him a little bit here. And yeah, it's going to be gone for now at least. His teammate Lima behind of him, catching up 38.8 seconds. Let's see how that works out. Got 8 drivers only remaining in this final race here. It was supposed to be a bit more interesting than this, but still, it's quite racy with a few drivers we have in. Just chilling. Good to hear, man. Good to hear. Liam here, 6/10. Let's see what he can do with that. Of course, I'm going to try to get past the Red Bull if he can. He did get past Satik a few laps ago, so he is in the mood for some overtakes right now, which I'm quite sure he's going to get into. Optic into the pits. Got Immortal in the pits right now. So we're on that pit stop rotation right around this time for most of these cars here, I assume. But we're going to keep an eye out in front. Let's see when the race leader decides to take a pit stop. I think General, of course, going to be watching on that to see what happens. The 16 gap right now with the Red Bull. Let's have a look what's happening here. We might be able to see Brian try to get himself back up here. He's catching back up to the McLaren right now. Maybe he had a bit of a moment. I think he's off of it right now. He's back on to racing at the moment here as he's catching up. 16 gap. Let's see if we can break it down even more at this point. And yeah, hopefully get himself back into second and try to fight for that race lead again. We haven't approached the halfway point to this race yet, so he does have some time to pull this through. Down to 7 out of 13. Still quite a bit more to go, so let's see what's going to happen. We know these guys in the league here, they do tend to get quite racy, especially now at the end of the race session. Let's see what's going to happen either way with that case. Robbie, of course, still leading as he always is. I think he's going to continue that maybe through the entire race session, leading his own race out in front. McLaren, of course, still trying to catch up to him, but now under pressure from the Red Bull of Ryan, who I think is caught himself back again. Yep, only 7 left, Mr. Patterson. We had 13 started. A bit of a chaotic start on this race. We had quite a few incidents on the opening lap. The two championship contenders were P1, P2, Robbie and Noel. Of course, Noel had a bit of an incident. Someone went into the back of his car, I think, and caused him to lose positions. Went all the way down almost to the back of the grid. Then we got Mitwi had some side damage to his car, so he's retired. He retired from the race. No Cap retired from the race, and I think Noel he thought there was gonna be a restart to this here, and that's why he retired. So we were supposed to have the two of them fighting out front. He would have gotten back out front, I believe, with the pace that he has. Yeah, I think that is true. F1 game. It's just I'm not sure this year. They expected a lot more from this game, but it hasn't gone the way we expected. So camps are starting to go just a bit right about now. Let's bring back cars around now. See what's happening out in front. We know those few cars up in front, they haven't taken a stop as yet. Want to see if anything's going to be changing with that as we get on through this though. I think we might just wait for the top few cars to do their pit stops, and we'll see what's going to happen with the gaps as we get on through. Because we're coming on through to the halfway point of this race very soon as well. General's still trying to catch up to Robbie here, not having the best of luck there in the McLaren. He's breaking the gap down, maybe just a minor bit, but let's see what's going to happen. We know Riant, he's already down to 5th right now. I think his race mood is going and coming in this race, not sure what's happening. He was catching up to the McLaren, now down to 5th. His teammate running in 3rd right now, so taking the middle of that. We'll see what he can do in the meanwhile there. So when you have 1.5 second behind the Red Bull. I think, yeah, Robbie definitely has quite an easy race session on his hands here, keeping himself out front. And of course, he's going to try to do that through the entire race session. 1.4 seconds ahead now. He's trying to gain as much time as he can, or maybe just a bit relaxed out front as well. So have a good look at what's going on with him here. Maybe not pushing as hard as he usually would. That's a 5-second penalty for Liam. Pit lane leading, not that good. So yeah, definitely would affect him in a race as well. Unfortunately for the amount of drivers we lost from this session, not usually what happens here in Division 1. Immortal, Swen, and Finnick, not sure what happens to their cars as they retire from the session. I'm assuming they all just retired in the pits. I was trying to keep up with what was happening with that either way. Well, looks like the McLaren is into the pits. Let's have a look what the change is. So, switching back to online on the track here. Also been an interesting view in the pit lane for the second there. For a second, I thought you almost looked wet in the pit lane entry, in the pit lane itself. Not sure. As I said at the start of this race, it was looking a bit tricky with the weather when we got into the race session. So I'm not sure until what the race weather was supposed to be. But either way, things could change, and as we were expecting it to possibly take a different turn at the end of the session, even though with the weather. Bit of excessive braking there from the Ferrari. So he's trying to get away a bit from the other guys right now before taking his pit stop. Lima up to second now, as the McLaren took his pit stop. To take now running third in the, I think it's Williams here. Behind in fourth. Let's see if we can have this 7 at least finish the race section. Hopefully we can. But we'll see what's going to happen either way. But at the moment, it's looking pretty good for Robbie and his championship. With Noel, of course, out of the race session due to a bit of misunderstanding. 8.7 seconds separates race leader from the Red Bull here. Of course, neither of them have taken a pit stop yet. Zidane hasn't stopped us yet. Riant hasn't stopped us yet. So our top 4 drivers still yet to do a pit stop. They're all running on the same strategy. Let's see when they're going to do that. And of course, that's going to put the Ferrari back up into the lead either way. So Lima's in. Zidane, of course, goes up to second right now. Deno running fourth. Let's see where he's coming around. Can the McLaren get back up a position here? He might just be able to do this as he gets around. And got a purple sector 3 as well. So the fresh tires, of course, fresh medium tires working pretty well for him. He gets back out into third. We know both Zatik and Robbie still have to do a pit stop. Should be enough time to put the McLaren back up into second when the pit stops do happen. We're waiting to see when Robbie decides to do his stop. Of course, just into the second half of this race right now. Limited on our driver count for the final race here. 13 down to 7, but still an interesting session was on this from the start coming on through. Qualifying was actually pretty fun to watch with what they got done, and that's actually the final moments of the qualifying session between Robbie and Noel there. Getting those two to be starting the race. P1, P2 was a perfect qualifying results. Perfect start to the race for the first 2 seconds until we had some contact in the midfield. And there goes the race leader. I believe he is now into the pits. Most likely going on to the mediums as well. Let's have a quick look. Zitik as well into the pit lane as well. So yep, I think that qualifies for everyone now taking a pit stop already in the session. Robbie, of course, getting back out on track right now. We're on with the McLaren, who's trying to get past Robbie right now and has actually done it. Right, but guys, yeah, the McLaren has gotten past somehow here during the pit stops. So he worked a bit of miracle with those medium tires, taking an early pit stop and just saving some time on his laps until the race leader went in for his pit stop. This is actually costing McLaren to get ahead. That actually worked. I can't believe that actually worked for him. But yeah, definitely an interesting play there with the race strategy. So Geno, of course, now into the lead after a pit stop 2 laps before the race leader, who is now out into second place after his pit stop. Can the McLaren hold off the Ferrari until lap 29 is what we're going to see. Because we know the pace of that Ferrari. We know the pace of the McLaren. Let's see what's going to transpire in this race session here. So I think it'll be interesting because, of course, Robbie is within DRS advantage. This is where I think the McLaren is going to be at a disadvantage because he's going to have a much harder time pulling himself ahead with that Ferrari within DRS range of him here. He's going to have to do some serious defending on track here as well. Let's have a look and see how this battle is going to go on through. As we said, things tend to change a lot in these races here in Division 1. Ferrari going a bit off track there, trying to keep up. Loses a 10th. He's trying to keep this going. Of course, we know he's not going to give up on getting back the lead here. He is winning the Drivers' Championship this race, and he wants to win it in style. He is going to be finishing this race P1. I don't think McLaren is going to be able to deny him that. Let's see what's going to happen. I mean, Geno could possibly do it. Has quite a number of laps. There's at least 12 laps more to go in this race before we come to the end. And there goes the Ferrari right up to the rear, not going for the move as yet. He's just timing himself. Almost goes into the back of the McLaren here. Breaks in time though. He's kept it clean and neat so far. It's a 2:10 gap. He has the pace advantage here. He knows he can get by for an overtake, and there he goes alongside the McLaren, and he is already ahead. And that was quite an easy overtake for the Ferrari driver. He's back up into the lead of this race. And yeah, he's going to continue that on through. Let's see, already extending his advantage by 4 tenths ahead of the McLaren. Lima, they're getting a bit racy down at the back there in P4. Looking to get his car onto a podium position here if he can. Optic under pressure right now. Now we know, of course, Optic in the Ferrari as well. Robbie's teammate. I think these guys are planning on having both cars on the podium here today is what the plan is going to be, because they're not just planning on winning the Drivers' Championship, they want to win that Constructors' Championship as well. As you know, they're so close, I think. Was it with Williams for the Constructor? Yep, it was also Williams. As we saw, I think I only brought it up in the qualifying session. Ferrari currently leading the constructor standings with 238 points. We got Williams running a very close second, 232 points. It's a 6-point difference right now for the constructors there at the moment. And of course, we know that Ferrari wants to win it. If they can get both cars on the podium, they have a clear path of winning both the constructors championship and the drivers championship here for Robbie as well. So yeah, I think that's what the plan is right now. Of course, a bit more time though, because Lima just got past Optic up into third place. As I said, he was looking for an overtake, and we know that Optic is on the harder tires right now, hard tires, so maybe a bit less space for him. But we know the pace level of the Ferraris here as well, especially cornering speed for them. So let's see how that's going to work out, because I think the Red Bull is going to have a serious challenge here for himself in terms of keeping that Ferrari behind. So this could go quite interesting to see how it happens. But either way, I think it's just the one Williams here. Sadiq left in the race session. Not a lot they can do in terms of points for the constructors, because we already have Robbie leading the race. Optic already ahead of him by 2.7 seconds at the moment and going, so it's not a lot that can be done. Unfortunate for Noel accidentally retiring from the race session. This was going to be much more of an interesting battle for those championships if he was still in this, because I'm quite sure he would already fought to sit back out in front of the grid to fight with Robbie for the race win. But either way, we got the McLaren, still a close battle with him, still about 6 cents at least behind. Let's see how that's going to work through the rest of the race here. Liam got some soft tires on, of course, quite a way back in the grid though. Lima and the Ferrari Optic fighting it once again, wheel to wheel and side by side, going through this. The Ferrari, of course, on the inside. Does he get the move done? Doesn't look like the case is. The Red Bull holds on to third place. He's not giving it up right now. He wants to keep his car there as much as he can. His teammate, of course, down to 6. Not much he can do right now. Big gap towards him down at the back there. Bobby trying to hold on to his lead out in front against the McLaren. Still 6 tenths behind. He's still within the DRS range, so going to have that advantage as we got the Ferrari here of Optic trying to keep up with the Red Bull. And of course, you know, he needs to avoid making any sort of mistake right now that could cost him a podium position here. Because Optic definitely wants to have that car on the podium. Having the Ferraris finish even a 1-3 would be an accomplishment for the team here this evening, if they can get that done. As we have the Ferrari closing in on the Red Bull, using the slipstream advantage. He's going to be on the inside into that turn, into the braking zone. Does he get the position up? He's already ahead. Gets it up a bit, tries to block him off from a switchback, and he does keep the position. He's back up into third place. Going to keep this going through. It's lap 21 of 29. We're coming down to the finishing portions of this race so quickly to see what's going to happen. And where the way things are standing, where the way things are at the moment, is definitely looking like, well, definitely it's going to be Robbie winning the Drivers' Championship and Ferrari winning the Constructors' Championship. So I think the team is going to be happy about that, taking both championships in one race. We're going to keep an eye on this, I guess, going all the way through to the end of the final lap. The Ferrari holds on to that third place, and it's only by about 4 tenths right now out in front. The Ferrari of Robbie holds on to his lead by 1 tenth, less than a tenth, as the McLaren is on the outside going around. He gets ahead. Does he hold on to the position? As far as you can see, he does. The Ferrari, of course, going to come back at him. It's still a pretty close gap, only 2 tenths between them. Can Robbie get back his lead in this race here? It's the final few laps of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And of course, the race where Robbie will win the Drivers' Championship. But I highly doubt he wants to win that championship, finishing this race in second place when he was so close to getting back into P1 here. And I think he's led most races in this, most laps in this race so far. I'm quite sure he's going to try to get it back. I don't know, see how he's going to be doing that. Might use that system advantage. If he can, he will have to use it. But let's see what the straight line speed of the McLaren is. Down the straight here they go now. It's a 5-10 gap. Let's see what it's going to be when they close it off. Down at the end into the braking zone. It's down to 4 tenths already. It's still speed advantage is going to come into play just a little bit here as it's down to 2 tenths going into the turn. Not close enough for an overtake, but close enough to keep himself there and try along one of the other straights or even into a turn here. And the Ferrari has that cornering speed. He's going to try for it as much as he can. Down at the back, Lima there 2 tenths behind. Optic here, the next Ferraris, both Ferraris involved in a battle here on track for positions, and of course valuable points, valuable positions at this point in the race session. And McLaren, of course, going to be quite happy if he could finish a P1 in this race. The Ferrari, I think, definitely will try to deny him that, though. On lap 23, we're going to be into lap 24 pretty soon, as these two run the final few corners on this lap. Gap is about 2 tenths. McLaren definitely has some work to do here if he wants to keep that advantage. The Ferrari going to go on board right now to the main straight into lap 24, and that's what's going to happen. Final few laps of this race. Final 6 laps actually that we have right now. Ferrari closes in that gap as much as can. Down the straight they go once again. It's a 3-10 gap as they get down to it this time compared to the 5-10 gap it was on the previous lap. Can Robbie get close enough to the McLaren to get an overtake done? The McLaren keeping himself on the inside of the track, forces the Ferrari around the outside, so he's not able to get overtake done just as yet. But there's only a 10 between the two of them. This could happen at any second here, so let's see what's going to go on in terms of these two, and they're side by side going through on it here right about now. Robbie goes back into the lead. Not too hard of an overtake for him, but have to work for that one there as he got it through. So he's back up into the lead. We got Optic all the way down to 5th right now, so it's not looking to have both Ferraris on a podium finish here, as Optic has quite a bit of time to catch up if he wants to get back onto that position there. Lima holds on to 3rd place, but under pressure from Zitik, I believe. Gap is about 9 tenths right now between Robbie and Genoa. I think Robbie is now pushing as much as he can in that Ferrari. He wants to finish this race with a race win here, because it might make it a bit more interesting for him. Geno losing his DRS advantage right about now. Lima holds on to 3rd. Zitik holds on to 4th, trying to keep himself within DRS range of the Red Bull. Optic down to 5th. Not going to be able to finish on the podium, unfortunately. Briant running 6th and Liam running 7. That's our top 7 drivers currently remaining here in the race session. Looks like the McLaren has got himself back into DRS range now, so let's see if he can keep it there and possibly go for one more overtake here and keep himself in the lead until the final lap of this race, which is going to be very, very shortly, as we're already on lap 25. We'll be into lap 26 pretty shortly, gives us at least 4 laps more of racing to go here in the session. Looking to see if you have any closing gaps. Satiq there closing himself in on Lima right now, so that's going to be worth looking at the moment here. Let's see what's going on with these two. The Williams trying to get as much points as he can in this session. If he can get himself maybe on a podium finish here, might just be worth something for him. Let's see if that's going to happen or not. Keeping a gap as it is right about now going on through, so within the DRS range still has the advantage here, the Williams, but can he actually get overtake done before this race closes off? Because it's going to be a bit tough to see whether that's going to happen or not. At the moment, Robbie still leads, and he is now extended the gap against the McLaren by 2.4 seconds out in front. As far as we can see there, the McLaren having quite a bit of a difficult time trying to catch back up to Robbie right about now. 2 laps older tires than Robbie, but still had the advantage during the pit stops, took an early pit stop and got out back on track, made some very, very quick out laps as Robbie got into the pits, got her back, and he got the Ferrari on the pit stop, got ahead of him, but was not able to hold on to the lead to this point. But still quite an interesting battle with those two out in front. Lima and Satiq here. Oh, there goes the McLaren having a bit of a spin. This is going to cost him second place if he's not able to get back going in time. Where is the Red Bull coming through? Was 13 seconds behind. Now the McLaren has wing damage, as we just saw there. This is going to affect the final few laps of the race. You have it here. Gap is now 12 seconds to the race leader. He's not going to be catching up back on that. Robbie has a penalty out in front. That's even more interesting to see happen. And then, of course, we got Lima now 4.4 seconds behind the McLaren, closing the gap in as we speak. And it's only an 8-10 gap to the Williams behind of that. Things are changing very quickly at the ending portions of this race. Anyway, let's see what's going to happen. There is Satiq on track with DRS range still of the Red Bull, but I think he just got out of that. Lost a bit of time there. Let's look at that penalty situation right now. It's a 3-second penalty only for Robbie there right now as he goes on through this. Satiq has lost his DRS advantage on the final 2 laps of this race, so that's not looking too good for him. Liam into the pits. Robbie across the line for lap 28 of 29. We're on to the final 2 laps here for this Grand Prix, which was supposed to be a bit of a battle between 2 of our drivers to see who's going to be taking the championship, but I think it's a bit clearer than that at this point. But coming down to back to where Satiq is, he's losing a bit more time right now. As far as you can see, he's trying to gain it back, but highly doubt he's going to be able to gain it back in time unless the Red Bull makes a mistake at this point. Optic, unfortunately, down to 5th, so we'll not be seeing a Ferrari 1-2 or 1-3 finish here for the final race. But they still will be able to take the Constructors' Championship because they have 2 cars running in the race, whereas Williams only has 1 running. So even though with everyone getting points there, we're not going to see the Williams challenge the Ferrari on the final race for that championship. And they were getting so close with a 6-point difference for the constructor standings between Williams and Ferrari. What a shame we're not able to see Noel in this race session. Race on through. Out in front, Robbie, of course, leads into the final lap here right about now. He gets on going. gap between Lima and Geno there in the McLaren. It's down to 7-10. So the Red Bull trying to get himself up into second if he can, following the mistake from Geno that he made, putting the car into the barriers on the side after a spin, losing a bit of a front wing, which definitely is affecting the car with some performance issues there. Let's have a look what's happening. It's getting a bit racy between these two into the final lap here. Lima is looking to get by. He has that back straight there in sector 2 to work with right now. We're down to just 5 drivers now. Riyadh and Liam out to the session. Let's have a look and see how this plays on through. We'll switch back to the race leader in just a bit. The Red Bull trying to go around the inside of the McLaren. Has the straight line speed. Is going to get it done into this turn. And let's see if the braking zone holds it on through. The Red Bulls are going to be very careful about where he puts the car on track here. And he's gotten ahead up into second on the final lap. So quite a move from him. Of course, you know the McLaren has damage. He's going to try to defend on that as much as he can. But how much can he do? We do have Robbie here coming through the final sector, final few turns. Has led the Drivers' Championship. He is able to take a win for his team for the Constructors' Championship with the points he gets and the points his teammate gets, but he comes across the line now and wins here at Abu Dhabi. And of course, quite an interesting spin as he gets across the line, but well deserved as he takes the Drivers' Championship there for himself, and of course his team gets the Constructors' Championship as well against the Williams team, who has to settle for second place on the Constructors. But yep, quite an interesting and well-deserved win there for Robin, and he is of course the Drivers' Champion here for this session, for this entire season that they had. I think was quite an interesting battle with him and Robbie him and Noel all the way through. We were not here to see all the races, but yeah, we did catch quite a few races here with Division 1 for my Evolution Online Racing. And it's always been quite an interesting battle with most of the drivers on through. I think Optic is the only driver left to get across the line. But yep, a well-deserved win to him. And I gotta say, quite an interesting session all the way through. I think those are the fireworks going off in the background. I was wondering what that sound was. But yep, there we have it, guys. I'll have one last look at the final results here. But yep, definitely congratulations to Robbie there for winning the Drivers' Championship, and to Ferrari for winning the Constructors' Championship, all to take in the final race that we just had there at Abu Dhabi. Quite an interesting session, great battles from the guys in the race session as well, and I think it was a great season for the team. Alright, so there we have it. Race results here for Evolution Online Racing. The Abu Dhabi Grand Prix Championship deciding race where Robbie just took the Drivers' Championship and Ferrari just took the Constructors' Championship win as well. Lima finishing second on the podium. Geno in the McLaren finishing third after having some damage, allows the second place. Zatik finishing fourth, Optic in fifth, and I think that was all the drivers that finished the race session. Unfortunate for the rest of the drivers who could not finish that race, but yeah, definitely a well-deserved win there for Robbie for that, for becoming the Drivers' Champion. And yeah, Constructor Championship goes to them as well. So gotta say, quite an interesting session. Looking forward to continuing on with the league here for commentary, and of course we're gonna be seeing more of them during the team event they will be having for Diversity Esports on Mondays, which will be starting on the 17th. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that as well. More information will be available, of course, on Twitter, guys. So do follow the league, follow me on Twitter, and yeah, we'll see you guys on the next stream.